give all the praise, all the glory, all the honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakah Kudash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me the truth. Also want to acknowledge all the Akim who are pushing the truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. This is Shabai from GMS Denver. And today, just through the Spirit, I'm going to do a quick hitter. Lord's will, I'll get another one in tonight when I get home. But this is Psalm 92, so this 92nd Psalm. It says, "It is a good thing to give thanks unto Yahweh and to sing praises unto thy name, O Most High." So the first thing is you gotta, to give praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, you have to be using the correct names, okay? To show forth thy kindness or loving kindness in the morning and thy faithfulness every night. Upon an instrument of 10 strings and upon the psaltery, upon the harp with a solemn sound. Okay, because King David, he was skilled. He was skilled with the harp. All right, you know how to play the harp. Remember, he took off that wicked spirit from Saul whenever he'd play the harp. The evil spirit from Yahweh that was on Saul would leave Saul, because that's how good King David was at playing the harp. And the thing is music has vibrations that'll put you in different moods. You know, Esau, Edom, he knows this. This is why he gives our people such a destructive music genres, you know, like the hip-hop, the rap, all the vibrations, all the messages in that music is sending, you know, basically subliminal mood swing type vibrations to you that sometimes you're not even aware if you're not conscious and thinking about it and keeping yourself in a good state of mind. You know, you can get taken away by those vibrations. You know, music changes your mood, man. That's the point. It says, "For thou, Yahweh, hath made me glad through thy work. I will triumph in the works of thy hands. O Yahweh, how great are thy works, and thy thoughts are very deep." Right. "A brutish man knoweth not, neither doth a fool understand this." Right, because it's the same thing when it tells you that a foolish person can't understand a parable or appreciate a parable. Right? Let me see if I can get that precept. There's a precept that speaks about that. Let me see. Let's go to Proverbs 26 and 7th verse. It says, "The legs of the lame are not equal, so is a parable in the mouth of fools." All right? So brutish men, fools, wicked men, they can't appreciate the truth. They don't appreciate the parables, the proverbs, the knowledge. You know, that's why when we're teaching, you got to get in that habit of just letting these people go. If you give them a little sample size of the knowledge and the truth, and they're sitting there rejecting it or being contentious, then just shake the dust off and move on. You don't want to be teaching non-believers, right? You don't want to be giving your pearls to swine. Okay? It says in verse, let's see, Psalm 92. Go back there. And 7, I think. Yeah, verse 7. "When the wicked spring as the grass, and when all the workers of iniquity do flourish, it is that they shall be destroyed forever. but Yahweh are most high forevermore. Right, so when you see there's a verse, I think it's in Job, when it talks about when the wicked increase, when their children increase, it's for the sword, meaning it's for the death. It's just to be punished. You know? When the wicked are increased, it's only for their destruction. It's only for them to be punished. See if I can find that. Okay, it's Job. I thought it was in Job. Job 27:14. It says, it's talking about the wicked. It says, if his children be multiplied, it is for the sword, and his offspring shall not be satisfied with bread. Right. So when these wicked Edomites, when you see them having babies, especially in this time. Because we know this generation is going to be a generation of destruction, right? We have the Armageddon president in place. You know, you have all the shit going on with Israel and Iran. You know, you got basically Israel is backed by Babylon, America, and Iran is backed by the Medes, who are the Russians. You know, the least of thy flock shall draw them into war, you know. This is what's going to cause this World War III, the destruction. And when these Edomites are being multiplied, when they have children, you look around, you see it's only for the destruction. And basically 2/3 of our people are in that same boat because they don't repent. They don't believe in this knowledge. They don't believe in this truth. Ultimately, they're not part of the elect. They're a part of the 2/3, the wicked portion of our people. Okay? So let's go back to Psalm 92. It's fucking hot in this car, man. Got the AC on, it's still hot. Because you got to be driving around to get this AC to work, you know. So, reading on in verse 9. For lo, thine enemies, O Yahweh, shall perish, all the workers of iniquity shall be scattered. Alright? And who are the enemies? The enemies are all the heathen, starting out with Esau, Edom, and also right now 2/3 of our own people are our enemies. Okay? Everybody who's going to be destroyed is because they're going to be destroyed because they look like they're the enemy. You know, if they don't receive the knowledge, they don't repent, they don't want to leave cracker Jesus in the dust, they want to hang on to lies they've been taught, our people. Guess what? You're an enemy. You're an enemy. Right? Let's see. Galatians 4:12 or 16. Yeah, 16. It says, am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? So we become enemies not just to the heathen, but also to the 2/3, the wicked portion of our people. We become their enemy, right? Because you're telling your people that they can't eat pork, or they need to get in line. They need to call on the true names, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, you know, or don't make your green chili with pork in it, or acknowledge the true power, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. They get offended by that. We become their enemies. That's why we become holy in this knowledge and this truth, because we always tell you the word holy, it means separate. And this truth separates the true servants of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai from the false prophets and the wicked of our people, and of course the heathen. The heathen's always separate from us. Right? The other nations, for those of you who are new, the other nations who are not the tribes of Israel are the heathen, which the word heathen, it merely means nation. Okay? Psalm 92. It says, "But my horn shalt thou exalt like the horn of a unicorn. I will be anointed with fresh oil. Mine eyes," and the unicorn is the internet. This is the thing we use to exalt the names of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, also to teach the doctrine. For the doctrine to drop like rain in these days, for the gospel to be preached unto the uttermost part of the world, we need the internet, which the internet is likened unto the unicorn, which, it would be, metaphorically speaking, like something that gathers a signal, that's what it is, the internet. Let's go to Psalm 19 real quick. Talks about the internet in that chapter. It says, "To the chief musician, a psalm of David. The heavens declare the glory of the Most High, and the firmament showeth his handiwork." All right, and because the satellites, that's where all those satellites are in the heavens, and that's why this internet is able to, distribute information, and also, running with the circuits. The satellite signals go from your modem to, the satellites to the computer. It's that's the technology they have. It says, "Day unto day uttereth speech, and night unto night showeth knowledge." And that's talking about the prophets, because we're doing this 24/7 around the clock. Because when we're asleep, you have the prophets on the other side of the planet prophesying, and it's all day long. You have the videos, especially with GMS. You have the Lord is flooding videos on the internet, which is the unicorn, and it's flooded on the internet with, the men of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai teaching day unto day and night unto night, showing knowledge. Verse 3, "There is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard." So there it is. Every country, every nation is being taught this word. You have brothers in all the nations who are, on the YouTube, on the internet, on the unicorn, teaching the truth. "Their line is gone out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. In them that hath he set a tabernacle for the sun." So it's like a church in the sun. And those satellites, they're up there in the heavens where the sun is, right? You got all the satellites up in the sky. This is what enables the technology to work, Verse 5, "Which is as a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, and rejoiceth as a strong man to run a race." Alrighty. A bridegroom coming out of his chamber is happy, right? A man who's a strong man who's running a race, he's usually going to win that race if he's the strongest one, right? When you're doing sprints, it takes strength to win a race, literally. That's why when you meet somebody who can run fast, usually they're pretty strong, pound for pound. But also, the bridegroom coming out of his chamber, and a bridegroom, that means he just had sex with his wife. So right after that happens, hey, you're usually relieved, relaxed, happy. You know what I'm saying? And that's the same thing it is with this knowledge and this truth. We're happy, when you get your video uploaded to the internet, and now you know that, especially when you put a banger out, you know that, hey, this is my part. This was my part in the work, and we're doing this all across the world, day unto day, night unto night. There's no language where our voice is not heard, right? Verse 6, his going forth is from the end of heaven, and his circuit unto the ends of it, and there's nothing hid from the heat thereof. So the circuits, if you look at a diagram of the way the internet works on an image, if you Google it, it's going to show you it works in circuits, meaning a circular signal, right? So you have that, like I said earlier, you got the modem in your house. It has a signal that in a circular motion, it goes up to the satellite, into your computer, into the atmosphere, but it's in a circle. When you actually Google that, you'll be that's what you'll find, a circuit, the internet circuit, the World Wide Web. Okay, Psalm 92. Mine eyes also shall see my desire on mine enemies, and my ears shall hear my desire of the wicked that rise up against me. The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree. He shall grow like a cedar in Lebanon. All right, and I was just in Phoenix, Arizona to visit my daughter recently. Hey, those palm trees are pretty out there, It says the righteous shall flourish like the palm tree. And palm trees are tall, and the way they flourish is at the height of that tree. That's where they flourish, is right at the height of the tree. Is where you have like the palm leaf. But let's keep reading. Those that be planted in the house of Yahweh shall flourish in the courts of our power, the Most High Yahweh. Right. So if you're in this congregation, in the house of the Lord Yahweh, it's literally dealing with the church of Israel, the Israelites. And this is that church that is made up of men teaching on the internet that I've been talking about. And we're going to flourish just like that palm tree, and we're also going to flourish in the courts of the Most High. And why is that? Because we're His judges. That's why we're flourishing. We go to Psalms 2 and 10. It says, be wise now, therefore, O ye kings, be instructed, ye judges of the earth. By us, gathering this oil, gathering this wisdom, gathering this knowledge, it enables us to know the laws of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, and therefore we're able to judge. That's why no man can judge us, but we can judge them, because even in Esau's society, you're not gonna take a complaint to the judge of the district of wherever you live, right? No, he's gonna win the case because he's the judge. It's the same thing with Yahweh's judges. You can't judge us, but we can judge you. Because why? You don't know the scriptures. You don't know the laws. You're not qualified, man. All right? Let me see. Let me show you this. I'll grab this verse to prove this. It's, let me see. 1 Corinthians 2 and 15, it says, but he that is spirit, in the middle of your screen, but he that is spiritual judgeth all things, yet he himself is judged of no man. Right? You can't judge the prophets of Yahweh Hashem Yoshai. Why? Because you don't have the right measuring stick. You don't have the knowledge. You don't have the truth. You don't even know the laws. So how can you be a judge? In Esau's kingdom, you can't be a judge if you don't know the laws. That's why typically most judges, they start their careers off as lawyers. And if you're a lawyer, you got to learn the law. Same thing with the Lord's truth. You have to learn the law. Okay? You got to learn the law to be a judge, even in the court of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So we're kings, we're judges of the earth. If we're in that number, if we're of that 144,000, In Lord's will, I'm in that number. Then I'm one of the judges of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. If that's the will of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, then guess what? That's who we are, brothers. You know? Pull over here. Shit, got the front row now. So let's finish this chapter off, and I'm almost done here. I gotta get back into the plantation. Big fat ass park next to me. Okay, so it says, verse 14, they shall still bring forth fruit in old age. They shall be fat and flourishing. To show that Yahweh is upright, he is my rock, and there is no unrighteousness in him. Alright, and who is Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is the rock of the elect, starting out with the servants, the prophets. Okay? We're his judges, we're his kings, you know. We have wonderful titles doing this ministry, brothers. You know? So that's something, you know, it's not about glorifying ourselves right now, you know, but it's glorifying Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And if we're sincere, then, you know, we're those men who have been ordained, who have been chosen, who have been picked, pre-selected, predestinated. And hey, call halal Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. With that, I'm going to give all the praise, all the glory, all the honor unto Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahushai, B'Hashem, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me the truth. Also want to acknowledge all the Akyam who are pushing the truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom to the elect of Israel. Shalom.